Saying a special good morning to our listeners, special good morning to your viewers of course, GBN TV, the listeners of Classic Radio. Welcome to another edition of To The Point, today being Thursday. It's the 30th day of October, 2025. I'm your host, GT, with you this morning on today's edition. I was expecting, I guess, on Thursday we usually host various departments within the RGPF. The subsequent groups will pop in representing within the program, and I've been waiting for a wee bit. Some reason for my late start this morning, and no one have showed up as yet. And the same thing yesterday. And sometimes it's a little bit disappointing when that happens. I'm not sure if they're running late, but I haven't had any communication from them stating or reasons why they are not here as yet. So in the interim, folks, I'll offer the opportunity to you listeners and viewers. Has kind of thrown me off my game a wee bit. I had my all planned out what we were going to be happening today. I give you the opportunity to call in 435-2041, leads to us having an open line edition for I hope it's going to be temporary. If they do pop in as the morning goes along, we certainly will entertain them. All right, 435-2041, that's the number. We do have our first caller. Caller, your life. Good morning, welcome.
Good morning, GT, and morning to your listeners.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, I want to continue the service today. I got the line wasn't working, seemed to be working well. But I was saying with Trinidad, there's a fallout in Trinidad already in relation to Trinidad going into bed with the U.S. You have the collapse of the Dragon Field oil deal. I mean, Venezuela have decided to cut, to suspend whatever cooperation they had. But in addition, there is problem within the UNC at the moment. There might even the possibility of falling. This thing is really serious and contentious. People don't understand because they have implications for the future. Now, I will leave that for now because what I want to deal with mainly this morning is for us to focus and try to understand why we are having the kind of destruction from hurricanes compared to in the past. And people seem to understand it. I mean, I was glad that Mr. Walters was on this morning and we reiterated that climate change is real. But we need to help people understand the characteristics of what are the results of climate change. And you have a situation, for instance, where the ocean is the heat in the ocean is so even further down, as the meteorologist would tell you, Brian, which he does an extremely good job. So that whatever comes from Africa comes and meet the heat here, it sort of let off energy like it's nuclear. Like, in fact, one scientist said like 25 nuclear weapons going off at the same time. So this is one of the reasons why we having the intense destruction. And it's not that, hurricane was there all the while. Yes, it was always there. The Caribbean seems to have a way of managing the relationship with nature and so on, and they survive. We have killed them out, so we don't have that knowledge. In addition, we are destroying our environment every single day. We are putting pollutant, we are emitting, the word is not coming to mind, the stuff that heats up the energy is not just coming to mind right now. And we are forever wanting to drill and drill and drill. The more we drill, the more the problem we have. And GT, I'll end here by saying, I asked the question yesterday, if it's just because the thing was always there and blah, blah, and not thoughtful, why it is that there's so much problem with heat? On the BBC program last night, which your radio station carried, one of the things that came out is that every minute a person is dying from the effect of heat. Is that because some mysterious thing? Again, it's because of our activity. The heat what we experience now was not there for a while. And we used to have periodic heat, but not that intense heat. Going away, we need to find a way how to live, how to respect nature and to follow the rules, to be in sync with nature. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. And there are folks who still think it's just a mere myth, but I will say climate change is real. It certainly is real. We do have another caller. Caller, your life. Good morning and welcome. Good Good morning to you, caller. Welcome.
Oh, great. Good morning, Mr. Telesford. Greetings. How are you?
Doing great, sir. How are you this morning?
You know, I was want to piggyback on a comment Mr. Antoine made there about the confusion in certain people's mind of what is really happening around the world and the comments made by certain people. I think the truth has not really been told to the people about what is really happening because of the name, the classification, there may be other words of referring to the phenomenon that exists today as it relates to the weather. The problem is not climate change. The climate has always been changing. There was an ice age, etc. And even when we look at the north, the Arctic, and even the temperate regions, changes 4 times a year. We have rainy and dry seasons. The climate, the problem is not climate change. The problem is, quote unquote, global heating. The heating of the globe, both marine, water, and terrestrial, the land. That's where the problem is. That's why these hurricanes form with such frequency. There's always been hurricanes, even before our times. The latest I knew about is 51. I was just 4 at the time. That's why the problem. We got to tell the people, listen, the globe is heating too much because we're burning too much hydrocarbon fuels, because we're abusing the air with pollution, because we're making more acidifying the ocean when we pump shit into the ocean. You understand? That is the problem. Tell the people the truth. But this climate is climate change. It's not climate change. The problem is the global heating is the problem. But let's go to the meat of the matter, and I'll do it a little faster. Mr. Telesford, I want to make a general observation, and so that the people can pay attention to what I'm saying here. I'm not telling you. Remember, I don't tell you what to believe, right? I put it to you for you to analyze. I tell you we can get your information too. Pay attention to South Africa about some 8 or 10 years ago, if not less. The administration of a chap called Jacob Zuma and his relation with a big Indian origin businessman, the head of one family called the Gupta family. And pay attention to the phenomenon that occurred back then, where this company literally took over the government of South Africa. Big business to get contracts and whatnot and want to literally run South Africa in a classification called state capture. Why do I say this? Even yesterday we had a nice report coming out that our government has received a number of items from a private individual, a businessman, a private businessman, who from time to seemingly, according to the news too, has been inviting the so referred to Prime Minister of Glen to entertain him out there in Africa. I'm just warning you, brothers and sisters, pay attention to private individuals infiltrating your government through their friendly nature with your leadership, because it leads to state capture. And that can be disastrous for the country because it opens a floodgate to corruption, treating, bribery, all kind of ringy-dingy. Open your eyes, your God-blessed eyes, if I may say, and let mine be the goddamned ones. Have a nice day, will you, Mr. Telesford, sir?
Same to you, sir. Have a good one. 435-2041 is open line decision. Of course, this morning here on today's edition of To The Point, the numbers you can call to be part of today's edition, 435-2041, 435-2041. You have double the options of calling in via the WhatsApp and at the direct line. We go back to the phone line once again. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, GT.
Good morning to you. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, and you?
Doing good. Doing good myself.
All right. Good morning to your listeners. I somewhat agree with what Citizen Olu is saying. You know, we have to be very careful about how we receive gifts and who we receive gifts from, I quite agree with him. Yeah, it's good to receive gifts, but we have to also be careful. Now to my main point. GT, I noticed that, I don't know if it is new medicine, but I noticed that people are having major surgeries and so on done. And let's say they did the surgery the day before, and the next day they are released from hospital. And those persons, have to go here, there, and everywhere to do certain things. And I don't know, I don't know, but I'm wondering if this is new medicine, right? I'm not saying everybody. I'm just noticing, because recently I had a friend who did breast surgery, and the next day they released her, and she had to be going everywhere to get treatment, to get medication, to do this and do that. Secondly, I also noticed there are about 4 persons I know of, right, who had bad falls. They fell and knocked their heads, right, and was rushed to hospital. That's over a period of time. And those persons were looked at and sent back home the same time. And I noticed within 1-2 weeks, those persons died, right? And I am wondering if there isn't a responsibility from the healthcare providers at the hospital to make sure that you scan persons. Because once you knock your head, even though it's not bleeding, something could be happening inside there. But persons are, treated, what we call treated, and they are sent back home immediately. They are not kept for observation. I know that happened to about 4 persons, and that is shocking to me. And I wish that, I don't know who is responsible, but we need to pay attention to that. I don't think people should be released from the ER without being properly examined and looked at and scanned and so on to make sure that everything is okay. So that's a major concern I have. I don't know if anybody could call and say something about, I don't know what's going on, but we need to do better. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution and also expressing your concern. Folks, we drew for a break. Let's take it. When we come back after the break, we continue with your calls here on today's program. If my guests do show up, we certainly will entertain them also. Let's take that break. We will be right back. Don't touch it out.
Hubbard's, Grenada Broadcasting Network, Grenada Paper Products, Grenada Distillers Limited, makers of Clark's Court, Grenada's #1 rum, Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, Rennick Thompson and Company Limited, and Pierre Marcel, proud partners of the 19th annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert, Sunday, November 9th, 5 p.m., Grenada Trade Center.
Raise it high up the ladder.
Godfrey. But guess what I see after a long time now? Magdalene for Sharon.
True, boy?
Yeah, boy.
And Mr. Man, it's not Magdalene for Sharon. It's Magdalene for Sharon.
Not Magdalene, you tell me, and Sharon. Mr. Magdalene. Magdalene for Sharon. No Magdalene and Sharon.
Typical Grenadian. You always pronouncing people name wrong. But listen up, partner. Doc Liberty is here. I see Doc there with Joe Mania.
Hear you. Joe man, my Joe man, boy. You know better than me.
I tell you, I see Doc with Joe man. You can't tell me who I see Doc. I know who I see Doc.
Mr. Joe man, not Joe man.
You know, folks, I'm sure this song's familiar to you. You know, the mispronunciation of names. Well, maybe not mispronunciation, but maybe just ease of communication. In any event, join us this Friday on We Culture and let's explore the pronunciation of names and words the way we know it. See you there.
Get ready! GBN and the Ministry of Education presents Christmas Harmonies 1.0. The inaugural primary school choir singing competition. December 5th, 1 p.m. The Grenada Trade Center. 15 schools, magical voices, and fierce competition. Cheer for your favorites in categories like Overall Champion, Most Creative, Best Solo, and Best Group. Entrance, adults $10, children $5. Don't miss the holiday magic. Christmas Harmonies 1.0, where Grenada's brightest and youngest voices shine. Be there.
Welcome back once again, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, once again, as we continue with our open line edition for To The Point this morning here on Classic Radio and GBN TV. Let's hear from you, 435-2041. If you do have a contribution you want to make via the WhatsApp in terms of via message, you can also do that as we go back to the phone line. Caller, you are live. Good morning and welcome. Caller, you may have to lower whatever device you may have turned up in the background. Have it totally turned off, please, and then continue. Let's go back to the line.
Yes,
Caller, you're live.
Let me tell you this. What I do know, or what I do learn, and which is education. Now, there is quite a difference between climate and weather. What I did learn, and what I do believe, is that, and what did I learn is, weather is the daily atmospheric condition of a place. Daily. Climate is the average about the weather. So you take all the weather condition for our 30 to 40 years, and you say you have a tropical climate. I don't know the others. I think temperate and others, monsoon climate and others. And when I hear people or some or intellectual or some intellectual, you see, I don't know what word to use, telling me that the climate of a place, today's climate is stormy or windy. Maybe the weather, well, as you said, the weather for that day might be windy or for 2 days might be windy, but not the climate. I know you might know better. You might, maybe you can educate me or re-educate me, or those who know better could been to different schools. Tell me what's the difference between, and if I'm not talking the truth. Thank you very much, and I hope a lot of us learn.
Thank you also, caller. Certainly appreciate your contribution. 435-2041. 435-2041. We go back to the phone line. Caller, you live. Good morning. We lost that caller there. Maybe I was a little too fast in terms of connecting. 435-2041. Let's go back. Caller, you live. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. Good morning.
Good morning to your listeners and viewers. I was listening to a program this morning with Innocent, and one of the things that came out with the guy in charge of NADMA was the fact that we don't have in the Caribbean, not just Grenada, in the Caribbean, any cargo transportation in case where we have these disasters that take place ever so regular in the Caribbean, as it relates to the hurricane. I want to make an open suggestion to the locals here, which can be disseminated to CARICOM, OECS, that I think if the governments come together, they can safely get a suitable cargo aircraft, like in the case of Jamaica, because what Mr. Walters was saying this morning, that even if we have foodstuffs here, how would it get to Jamaica? Yes? If we had a CARICOM craft, that because of what is happening now, the storms are getting more intense, they are more regular, and it's almost every year a different island is impacted in such a way that you need this sort of response. You can probably use it outside of the hurricane season for the transportation of fruits and vegetables to other jurisdictions in the Caribbean or international. I think if the Caribbean governments come together and purchase certain aircraft, I think it can go a long way in easing the burden of transporting stuff from different countries when there is a disaster. Because you need those stuff, you need not just money, but you need water. Sometimes some of the stuff that they need it immediately, and you cannot, when you send the money, then you have to go and it's a whole sort of logistical thing. I believe if they have this thing, it will do very well so that they can come to Grenada, take what Grenada has, go to St. Vincent, go to St. Lucia, and then you fly wherever. If it's Antigua, you're going to. If it's Dominica, if you're going to Jamaica, Cuba, you could have that aircraft. I think it could facilitate a good transportation of relief stuff to the different Caribbean islands. That is my suggestion. Thank you.
Great suggestion, sir. Thank you a whole lot, and I certainly hope, of course, leaders within the Caribbean look into that and certainly make that happen. We have another caller via the WhatsApp. WhatsApp, you're live. Good morning and welcome. WhatsApp caller, good morning. You're live.
Good morning, Jim.
Good morning to you, sir. How are you doing this morning? Seem to have lost that caller there for some reason or the other. 435-2041, 435. Maybe a little bit of connection issues this morning. 435-2041. There's a comment from someone on the WhatsApp. They're saying, we have to be careful with things we call and say on air. Scandals. And who was all ready to set up? Let me get that back up for who was all to set up in Tobago, get up and left because all of the negative rumors and allegations made about them by conspiracy theorists. They left to protect their image. We should avoid the kind of behavior. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you are live. Good morning. Welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning to you.
I'm calling about the diversion program. I find the government takes too long to do the diversion program, especially around the private school area. Sometimes you go to drop off your children, and the children have to be boxed in bush to pass to go their way up to school. I find they could do better than that and have the diversion program a little more often.
Okay. Thanks for your contribution this morning.
Also, the Monge Road is in dire need of fixing. Please.
Okay.
I'm appealing to the relevant authorities to please do something.
Well, I certainly hope someone in authority is listening this morning and they will have something done about that, all right?
All right.
Well, good morning. Caller, you're live. Good morning. We got disconnected a wee bit a while ago. Good morning. You're back. Welcome. Caller via WhatsApp. Seem to be having some connection issues with our WhatsApp this morning for some reason or the other. Let's try this one, see if it comes through. Caller, you are live. Good morning. Welcome via WhatsApp. WhatsApp caller, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you doing this morning? Yeah, go right ahead. We're hearing you. Go right ahead, please. For some reason, we may be experiencing a bit of connection issues with our WhatsApp callers this morning. Apology for that. 435-2041, 435-2041. We may have to focus a wee bit on the direct line this morning if you would like to call in. 435-2041. Looking in terms of a contribution via the WhatsApp, in terms of the messages. No one has sent one as yet. The previous one, I think I did acknowledge that already. 435-2041. The lines are open to you this morning. Let's hear from you in terms of your views, your whatever contribution you may like to make in terms of an issue you would like to bring to the fore. Feel free to do it in this segment this morning. 435-2041. We're looking at 30 minutes already moving down after the 9 o'clock hour. We're here till it's 10 a.m. this morning on today's edition. Of course, you know, on Thursdays we usually entertain various departments within the RGPF, and no one showed up this morning, as I mentioned before. So which led us into having, of course, a direct line conversation this morning. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning to you, sir. Good morning to Grenada.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. I'm calling for the program.
You're live. Go right ahead, please.
Yes, what I'm saying is, as a grandmother, I have a problem with the school children, especially the GBSL children. I would like the parents in Grenada, Kakupiti Matnik, speak to your children before they leave home, because these children have no respect for the people like me. Now, I'm a grandmother with 10 grand. I'm not perfect, but I would like to see a child getting on in the street and he say something. And the big people, sir, that when I speak to them, they say, "Na fast. Today is Thursday, and Tuesday, a group of GBSS boys and girls on the bus terminal, they did for more than an hour getting on. And I just tell one of the child, I said, child, you have respect for that tie in your neck. You have to have respect for the school. He tells me, mother, see, I can't use the big word because you hold it thin. You understand? And all his friends is backing him up, and it's not nice. Because if he could tell me that, I don't know why he's telling his mom and his dad. And people that speak to him, they have no respect. So I'm pleading this morning as a mother and a grandmother, speak to your children. When police go with them, don't say the police abuse them and they bad. The children have no behavior. I've seen that with my eyes. 16 years I'm selling at the bus terminal. And I've seen things. And he has some kids, from the meet and they reach at the bus terminal, they take the bus. I don't have to know your mother, I don't have to know your father to tell the child time to go home. They're making love on the terminal, some of them smoking. I ain't telling you they say, mister. I tell you what I see with my eyes, and they're very disrespectful. That's what I have a blessed day.
You too, caller. Thank you so much, and I certainly appreciate your contribution this morning. Folks, it's due for a break. Let's take it for this caller, and then we'll take a break after this caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Jay. Good morning to you listeners.
Good morning.
How you doing, sir?
Doing great. Doing great. How are you this morning?
I'm fine, brother.
All right.
I want to thank David Andrew for giving the kids a tablet free. You know, I mean, remember I said on the program, nothing is free? But at least good sense prevail, and I do believe that I had to thank you for that, because I've been wondering, how come my son and tell me I got to pay for, you know? You understand?
I guess that was a sign of relief for you there, right?
Yeah. I'm happy to David Andrew. That's a good move, brother. I mean, you're a good brother. I know that.
All right. Bro, we certainly will hear more parents, of course, saying that thank you to to the government for, of course, offering those tablets absolutely free.
Yes, I hope so.
In the initial stages, they were supposed to pay a percentage, but I think that has been the thought have been changed now in terms towards that. And I guess we lost that caller there. Not sure why we lost the call, but let's take a break. We will be right back. Don't touch it off. 435-2041 when we return after the break.
Looking to...
We are Grand Dance Academy, and we are participating in the GBN choral singing competition. Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing the joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo.
I think we will win because we're confident and we sing very good.
I think we will win because we have beautiful voices and we have good singers and we can make it.
I think that my school will win the competition because we have good singers, we're confident, and we have the right spirit.
Green Nader, get ready! GBN and the Ministry of Education presents Christmas Harmonies 1.0. The inaugural primary school choir singing competition, December 5th, 1 p.m. The Grenada Trade Center. 15 schools, magical voices, and fierce competition. Cheer for your favorites in categories like Overall Champion, Most Creative, Best Solo, and Best Group. Entrance adults $10, children $5. Don't miss the holiday magic. Christmas Harmonies 1.0, where Grenada's brightest and youngest voices shine. Be there.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's To The Point, Classic Radio GBN TV. It's Thursday. It's the 30th day of October 2025. We have an open line edition for today. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Morning, GT.
Good morning to you.
I'm just wondering when SAS would be getting the tablets. If anybody knows, if they can call in and enlighten, because it's gone midterm now, and I haven't seen my children come home with tablets.
Your children attend what school? Did you say SAS?
SAS.
I'm assuming, well, did any response of any communication from the school itself in relation to that?
Well, at the last PTA I did ask, and because the thing about it is the communication somewhere broke down, because I went and I bought school books for my children, run me into almost $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And children don't go to school with books for whatever reason, I don't know, but the books are sitting home, and I keep thinking, would I be able to return it? I haven't even printed their names in it, and I'm not hearing anything about tablets. I did ask at the last PTA, and I didn't get an answer to say if tablets are forthcoming, so I don't know. I just heard a gentleman call, and I got the impression that his child got the tablet, so I'm just wondering if it's like a phase thing. I don't know, but we're coming up to the end of the first term.
No, as you mentioned that your children would go to school without the books, I was wondering if there's no use for the books, and then why would you purchase them?
That's what I'm wondering. I asked that same question, but they are not requested to come in with the books by the teachers for the various subjects. Apparently the teacher come and delivers. It's not like how we know they would have the maths book in front of them and this sort of thing, or the English A or whatever it is. Or,
well, I'm assuming how they go about with the syllabus these days is a bit different into how
that's it. But then why did they send us a book list? Why? Why? Why did we get a book list? Why the Ministry of Education didn't communicate properly and say, well, your child going into school now, hold on with the books for a while or whatever it is. And I've invested almost $700 because it's more than one child. Well, one is not entitled to because he's in Form 3, so he's not entitled to that, so that's okay. But the smaller one just went in.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it costs a lot of money. And the teachers, I'm not putting any blame on the teachers. They bought their books, and they are preparing their work and delivering it on printed paper and having children. So my books, I'm looking at them as I'm talking to you, without a name on it, brand new.
Of course, well, you do have a relevant concern. You do have a relevant concern,
so
and I certainly hope.
Like to know. I know everything doesn't happen one time. It takes time, right?
So
but I just want to know if schools are actually if children are actually getting those gadgets. I would just like to know.
Well, I understand it's because of the quantity. It takes a lot of programming time. I've talked to someone who's actually involved in getting those laptops together. It takes a bit of a time in terms of getting the various installed in it.
Right. Are children actually getting? Are schools actually been receiving? Has the process begun?
Well, I don't want to give any sort of information on that per se, but we just heard a caller said that his son did receive, so I'm assuming there are schools who may have received already.
And, so that's a little...
Could be for the new school term coming up, they probably will be. You never know. Keep those fingers crossed. Anyway.
Yeah, well, all across. All I need for my toes. Okay.
All right, have a good morning. 435-2041. Let's go to the WhatsApp. WhatsApp caller live. Good morning. I hope that your communication is better for you this morning. Good morning, caller. What's up? Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go right ahead, please.
Yes, yeah, books, just want to make a comment about books. Books can be used for independent reading, for independent studying. The teacher may give a lecture on a topic, but when the child goes home, the child can read the book and expand on the lecture. Sometimes the child may reach late for school, or he may
we are certainly having some connections problem this morning with the WhatsApp. So from time to time, I'm losing you. Hopefully that. So go right ahead, please. We seem to may have lost the caller there again. We're having a bit of a connection issue.
I can hear you.
Yeah, go right ahead. Mm-hmm. Caller, apology for that, but we are experiencing connection issues with the WhatsApp, of course, in terms. So let's try the direct line. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Same thing again, sir.
Caller, would you mind lowering whatever device you have in the background, please?
Sir, only inside my room are there, and I have no other device but the phone. I don't have a lady. I don't have.
Caller, go right ahead, please. Whatever issue with experience has stopped. So go right ahead, please.
No. A lot of us talking about reading. The best way to read is silently. Let me tell you why. I know you know more than that. When you read silently, you have a tendency to grasp the meaning, and you should be able to put it into use. Reading loudly is just as barking as a dog. Some people call words. Calling words is not reading. Is when you get meaning from print, from the written words, then you could say read. Now, people would answer that, what's the meaning of the word strike? Now, it depends on the context in which the word strike is used. Similarly, the word emancipation. Emancipation has different meanings to different countries. And strike has different meaning to different people. I strike the match, I strike the boy. Strike lasted for several days. I'll give you some examples. I know you know more than that. But you see, I would like to explain to people who are educated in the hardest sense of the word educated, but not in the right sense of the word educated. And this is why we have so much problem. Because a man that is not a builder, he wants to build. A man that is not a good driver, he wants to drive the biggest lorry in Grenada. And this is the man that cannot understand what you read. He wants to educate you or re-educate you. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good morning yourself. 435-2041. Let's go back to the phone line once again. We do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Hi. A gentleman just called a while ago saying that you can use the books, like if you're late for school or whatever, catch up on it. But when you have the text is on the gadget, so it's you don't need the hard copy. That's the purpose of having the text on your gadget. So if you're late for school, you could always go back at your text in the thing. So, I mean, the whole idea about spending the money and buying the books is duplicating things and additional expense on people. So by him saying that it's like the textbooks are not a waste. I'm not saying it's a waste, but what I'm saying is not necessary because the books will be installed and you can have access to it just the same.
All right. Understand? I certainly do understand. I guess the caller was just looking at it from a different perspective, of course, in terms of, some folks still do believe in having those actual hard copies books available for reading, which helps youngsters to read. You understand? Yeah, not only going to the gadgets and which but they can have in that actual physical book in front of you, which is the same thing as a gadget as you mentioned.
I'm not sure, the children read the newspapers on the phone. They do everything. They read on, even if they sit with the textbook, they're not going to read out aloud.
Certainly do understand. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. 435-2041. The lines are open, folks. We have approximately 15 more minutes left on today's edition of To The Point, folks, which means we due for a break. Let's take that break. And when we come back, we're getting to the final segment of today's edition of To The Point. Stay with us. We will be right back. Don't touch it out.
Raise it high up the ladder.
Godfrey.
Let we set it on.
But guess what I see after a long time now? Magdalene for Sharon.
True, boy?
Yeah, boy.
And Mr. Man, it's not Magdalene for Sharon. It's Magdalene for Sharon.
Not Magdalene, you tell me, and Sharon. Mr. Magdalene. Magdalene for Sharon. No Magdalene and Sharon.
Typical Grenadian. You always pronouncing people name wrong. But listen up, partner. Doc River is here. I see Doc there with Joe Mania.
Hear you. Joe man, by Joe man, by. You know better than me.
I tell you, I see Doc with Joe man. You can't tell me who I see Doc. I know who I see Doc.
Mr. Joe man, not Joe man.
You know, folks, I'm sure this song's familiar to you. You know, the mispronunciation of names. Well, maybe not mispronunciation, but maybe just ease of communication. In any event, join us this Friday on We Culture and let's explore the pronunciation of names and words the way we know it. See you then.
This weekend, the 15th annual Wagiti Carib Super Knockout is down to the round of 16. King Randy James Athletic Stadium, Friday, October 31st, 7 p.m. sharp. Two explosive matchups. St. John's Sports Club versus Classic Leighton Combined Northerners. Game 2, FC Camahorn versus Police Sports Club. Then on Saturday, November 1st, 7 p.m., the tension doubles. St. David's Football Club versus Saab Spartans SC. Then Queen's Park Rangers versus Hard Rock Sports Club in the second encounter. Only one survives. Admission $25 both days. The 15th annual Wagiti Carib Super Knockout is on. Don't miss a game. Wagiti Super Knockout.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, once again. We're into the final segment of today's edition of To The Point. Just approximately 11 minutes or so moving up before the top 10. We do have a caller online. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Diti.
Good morning to you.
And to my listeners. Now, I want to talk on the topic about the school books and things. Number one, if we all know that everybody is into AI, artificial intelligence. And if that is the way going, let it be across the board. If that is how we get it and children how to use computer, parents should not have a book. They don't want book in school, put it across the board. We will no longer allowing children to use books in school. Everyone has to have a computer. To those who cannot have it, we will support in our way. You either take it some way and you pay a little something to who to pay for your children use it. I myself have a grandchild. Even before they had some computer, they pay $25, and it never been using. Up to now, you have some school book inside it. So I feel people calling and saying they want to know when the computer, which one we want to go. The higher authorities, let us get together and say, here now, we are into AI. Let's forget the past. We're going into AI now. Everybody is under artificial intelligence. And it will be better because this person saying they're buying a book, he ain't using. This person saying they see children come with computer and anything. Let us go the right way. Who is in charge of education? They have meeting when you have PTA meeting. Come speak to the parents when you have PTA meeting and get them to understand. So there's nobody buying books and then complaining the children this and that. Because you all know, everybody is into AI. We can't move from it. AI this now, you have to pay electricity and bill, do everything on AI. So those are people like Domi, like me, which they know what thinking and phone. You have to live, you have to learn it, By any means, I have to learn it. And if you don't learn it, you stay back. So sometimes we have to meet our people. Not because you're looking to, you could have understand, meet our people for people to meet with you. Don't put it there and then after people buying books and they have it, children in using it. Why you go doing your paying money, you have a place, pack up, But I will say that books are very important. After the AI, it's very important to use books. You cannot beat mental arithmetic.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate your call. 435-2041, 435. And someone on the WhatsApp is saying, books are for independent reading. They supplement the lectures. And then they went on to saying books are especially useful if the student misses a lecture. And books are books, whether hard copies or digital. Digital books are also have to be purchased. So there's someone making their contribution there via the WhatsApp, via a message this morning. And for those of you, just a reminder that we are having some problems in connecting with WhatsApp this morning. So if you want to make a contribution, you could also do it via the message section of the WhatsApp. Hey, good morning to my good bro, man. You have written an entire book via the WhatsApp. I'm not sure if I want to read off that entire message you sent there this morning. It's pretty lengthy, which will take up the entire morning reading all of it. So I hope you don't mind if I don't, of course, read out your contribution this morning. All right, and I certainly do understand where you're coming from. 435-2041, 435-2041. We're moving up to 7 minutes. Moving up before it's 10 o'clock this morning on To The Point. We have an open line edition this morning, which gives you, our listeners and viewers, the opportunity to call in, share your views, share your concerns, issues you would like to bring to the fore. Of course, certainly getting that opportunity to do that this morning on today's program. So folks, as I mentioned, just approximately as the time moves up, 6 minutes moving out before it's 10 o'clock this morning, and hope we haven't already exhausted all of the calls that we should get. I hope not, because we still have a bit of a still line for this segment. 435-2041, 435-2041. Those of you driving along on the nation's roads and you're listening to Classic Radio, good morning to you. Certainly hope that you drive along with that due care and attention, looking for other road users as you move along this morning. Those of you at home probably getting some chores done and you're listening to Classic Radio, good morning to you. Those of you are probably the elderly individuals out there who are listening, probably sitting in your living room and your outdoor area at your home, and you're listening, good morning to you. Certainly hope you're having a good one. All right, certainly hope you are having a good morning. 435-2041, 435-2041. Open line edition of To The Point this morning. We do have another caller. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Yes, good morning, GT.
Good morning to you, sir.
No, I have been looking at things from a different angle. People look at different things in all different ways. But what
exactly have you been looking at, sir?
I have been looking at just things in general, especially world events, things that are happening in the world, per se, in the Caribbean, the world at large. Mm-hmm. And I have never really heard people talking of things from an eschatological event, from an eschatological perspective. By this I mean from the end time events that were prophesied in the Bible. There are prophecies in the Bible that relate to things that will be happening in times to come, end time events. That's what eschatology is about. And some of these things, if you really follow some of these things, and of course, I have not followed in every way, but I've been able to put things together in connection with Israel, for example. I look at what will be happening to Israel in the end and later on, in terms of the countries of the world surrounding Israel and all that. There comes a period of time when there'll be great tribulation. The church of God will be raptured, as those who dedicate and commit their lives to Christ. And the rest of the people on earth will go through a trying period of time. Jesus Christ himself talked about it in Matthew 24. And he talked about the city abomination of desolation and spoken of by Daniel the prophet. Let those in Judea flee to the mountains. So in a general way, I just want to say that maybe if people could put more effort into and interest into finding out exactly the prophecies of the Bible and what will be happening in end time, and mix up and connect these eschatological events, the end time events, with what is happening in the world today, then I think it'll be a good thing. But you haven't heard anybody talk about these things.
I would say there's no one talking about it, but sometimes folks are more interested in issues of what's taking place in the immediate, so sometimes they of course sort of put that particular level of the conversation on the back burner for various reasons. 435-2041. Moving up to 4 minutes before 10 o'clock this morning, which means we just have approximately 4 minutes left on today's edition of To The Point. 435-2041. 435-2041. We go back to the phone line. Caller, you are live. Good morning. Welcome. And how are you doing this morning?
I'm asking myself.
Caller, you always say the problem is not from you, but only when you call we have that problem. Have you ever noticed that?
Well, maybe my location. This thing goes into there.
All right, man. I
know you know everything. But
I don't know everything. I really don't. But I learned a lot from you, so I'm happy for that.
I thought so. Anyhow, there are things you call static something in the air. Everything, the computer is a book. The book is a book. Is to keep record. Now, none of us, except special man or special woman, they cannot keep everything in their head. They shouldn't keep everything in their head, because what would happen? They would even get more than, I don't know the word to describe, more than crazy. Crazy how it crazy is. So we have to be very careful as to what we say. Now, if we could continue printing books, we have a lot of trash in our house, burn them as you say, but we might keep most of the knowledge that we learn in school. You learn 2 and 2 is 4. You have to go in a book to know 2 and 2 is 4?
I probably did when I was younger. I went to a book to learn 2 and 2 is 4.
You probably did. I thought you would have been certain to say yes. So you're using on probability. The probability is 1 learn tomorrow, because Jamaica get theirs. So the probability, what is the world end tomorrow?
Have a good morning, sir. Have a good morning. And enjoy the rest of your day, all right?
But I think you understanding, Nino, you understanding what you're telling me.
I certainly have understand you a whole long time ago, sir. Have a good morning. 435-2041. 435. We still can accommodate another call before we take a wrap. Call live. Good morning.
Got cut off earlier on.
Yes, we did get cut off. You want to continue where you left off? Yes, go right ahead, please.
Sorry for that. My second point was to those people that fall sick and they go to the hospital. And with that fright and that whole drama of being sick and going to the hospital, I heard that story that you got to go and get your own medication. And now some people ain't got that family or that friend they could call and say, well, I have this prescription, can you go and for me? Some people ain't got that extended family or friends. It's how they live their life. So I don't think that's something that we need to change. It's very important. People fall sick. When they fall sick, they don't need that drama. They need immediate attention. And having that drama to go and fill a prescription outside the hospital to come back and bring the medication for the doctor or the nurse to give you, I find that added stress on that individual. And the family, what if they have family? Some people don't have family that's in the family. So I'm saying that let's try to avoid that in the hospital. I think that's something that the people might be losing their life for. It's a simple thing as that urgent medication you need to get in a timely manner. And by the drama of calling somebody from wherever to come and get it for you, I think that's unacceptable. I want to believe for people. So I think our leaders should try to get things fixed. Because really and truly, that could be me or you any time of the day. I'm saying that we don't put in that position. We had to call somebody and fill out that prescription. I'm just saying that people out there, we need to stand up against that. This is not looking right, it's not sounding right, it's not even smelling right. We need to get our leaders to get that thing straight. So if somebody is sick, medication is available for them in the hospital. And that's where we should go. Again, I want to thank Mr. Andrew, a wonderful move, brother. Have a nice day.
All right, sir. Thank you, and have a great day yourself. And do you have a comment from someone on the WhatsApp that's saying that my sympathy is with the people affected by Hurricane Melissa, and I pray for a speedy recovery so people can get their lives together. And asking Grenadians to please give a helping hand in everything that we certainly can. Be our neighbor's keeper. Folks, that's what we take a wrap for today's edition of To The Point, folks. And I want to thank all who took the time out to calling on today's program. Of course, we just had to actually get into an open line edition because, of course, I guess that was scheduled for today. There was I could say it was a no-show. So we had to just go to an open line. Thank you once again for your time and, of course, your patience for being with us this morning. Until we have another edition for you tomorrow, we will be back. And thank you once again. That's what we say goodbye.